Let me do this and I'll put it back on when I finish. First of all, as always, I'm delighted to be here. And today I am also delighted that Adam Birrell, Councillor Adam Birrell of Community Services is here to join me, because he really does an amazing job handling all community events, including this one, especially when I'm not available. But I can tell you, if I'm available and I get the call for the Sifton Cook unveiling of anything, you can guarantee I'm going to be here.
Foundation for many years, and he would like to have a personal statement on land acknowledgement. Thank you, Stanley.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a bit of a personal one. Since the Sifton Cook Heritage Centre opened back in 2012, we have been aware that the stories we tell aren't just the stories of the settlers. And over the years, we've featured a number of native stories, including means of transportation, local indigenous military and sports heroes. And we certainly have them now in our archives, but hopefully will come out again from time to time, and you can find them online. As well as the story of the relocation of our Mississauga brothers and sisters from the Bay of Quinte to Alderville. All those stories we've told over the years, but we've been slow to recognize that the land on which we exist, the place where we tell those stories of the natives and the settlers, is in a very real sense not ours. This land is not ours, nor did it belong to those who lived near it and traveled through it centuries ago. They were stewards of it, carrying out the stewardship of those who went before. So now, through the convoluted and sometimes unhappy history that we've experienced, those who make up the Coburg Museum Foundation are, again, stewards of this place. And we want to acknowledge that our heritage is a long one, going back long before the arrival of the first settlers. For me, that's what this day is all about. So I'm very appreciative of the part which Rick Beaver has taken in giving his skill, and so I presume his blessing on this day. And I am most appreciative that Chief Moen has joined us this morning to share something of the historical context of what we're doing here today. Chief Moen.
Thank you, everybody. Nice to be here today. Lake Ontario out here, our people call that the leading sea. That was the leading sea. And we're in the Gunshot Treaty area here, 1788. And the original intent was, the reason they called it the Gunshot Treaty, and this has been lost in time, and this has been one of the contentious issues in our history, is that the intent that I have learned and understand is that it was from the shore of the water in one chain, 66 feet, and then the line was drawn for treaty. Our people were to retain the riparian zone along the lakes and the rivers, because that's where our people were buried, that's where they harvested, that's where they camped. And so over time, that strip along all the waters in our treaty areas was lost to encroachment and lost to the fact that the Crown did not keep its promises. And so when our people have advanced their claims through the Federal Court of Canada and through the court system of Canada, and when we get criticized, which we have in the past, for doing that, I have said back to people, including a former member of Parliament, that you were elected on by the rule of law. We're advancing our claims based on the rule of law. And so why would you be annoyed at the fact that your predecessors have already instilled in law our ability to advance our claims by the rule of law. Sort of contradictory. So, these lands along here, along the lakefront, beginning in 1783 at the Bay of Quinte, 1787 the Toronto Purchase, 1788 the Gunshot Treaty, and then beyond Treaty 13A, and then around the head of Lake Ontario, the British had a plan to create an unbroken line of settlement all along the Lake Ontario frontier, and so that's what they did. And it was through our people's willingness to negotiate with them that the settlers were able to come in originally to the Bay of Quinte and then all along the lakefront. And so that history is one of encroachment. It's one of partnership. It's one of alliances. Our people defended Canada during the War of 1812. Specifically, Alderville, the ancestors that came to Alderville were at the Battle of Chrysler's Farm, November 11th, 1813, and so that recognition was formalized when former Chief Marsden and myself went to Rideau Hall and accepted the Defence of Canada Medal and the flag from the Governor General David Johnson at that time, recognizing our defense of Canada. So the Mississauga, or the Mississauga, have a long standing history here, predating settlement, and the fact that we are still here is and the fact that our communities are still here is a testament to our resilience. But I'm honored to be here today to work in partnership, to come here as a partner. I'm often in meetings with Mayor Henderson and the Northumberland County Council, and I think we get along very well. We advance our interests mutually, and so I'm honored to be here to be participating in this today, and to Rick Beaver, who I look to as an elder and a friend, a colleague. Rick and I have been involved in a number of things. I think the greatest part of my work with Rick is through our Black Oak Savannah Tallgrass Prairie, which I'm very proud of. And it's my beloved Black Oak Savannah Tallgrass Prairie, and Rick was one of the original movers and shakers, and he put the flesh on the bone and made it what it is, helped to make it what it is. So so I really thank you for having me here today, and I look forward to working into the future with you all. So, Chimigwech.
Very nice.
Isn't it nice? Yeah.
First time I've seen that.
Okay. Well, like to say a few words, Rick?
I would.
Yeah.
Okay. Councillor Bureau, Mayor Henderson, Mary, good to be here with you today and explain to you some of my thoughts of why this image would be appropriate to this occasion. And I suppose in many ways, my interest lies greatly in people's relationship with the landscape. So important wherever human beings are found on this planet, and indeed all living things. The painting is called White Pine Reflex, Rice Lake. And the importance of a land acknowledgement, of course, is written across here in the bottom words, and it says this: we respectfully acknowledge that we are on the treaty and traditional territory of the Mississauga Anishinaabe. We offer our gratitude to the First Nations for their care for and teachings about our earth and our relations. May we honor those teachings, which I think is an appropriate way to draw the connection between us.
The main character in this painting, of course, is the white pine. In our language, it's Jingwak Wabishki, which means pine, and flatboard or whiteboard. So right there is some indication of how important this very species of eastern hardwood or softwood was to our whole history, our mutual histories. Fortunes were made on the harvesting and lumbering of white pines. All of the locks in the Trent Canal system were designed for the width of the rafts of lumber that were brought down from the interior. And so this tree had a great deal to do, not only with the dimension, but the scope of all of our presence here. We knew it as a tree of great cultural and spiritual significance. It was used in construction, healing, and teachings about land stewardship, including fire and the use of fire and what happened after fires went around through the forest. I think appropriate to this occasion is the fact that it's one of the oldest members of our eastern forests, and certainly the tallest, which fits in quite nicely with your high flyers in the museum. This high flyer, however, sings to the west wind and has greatly defined the land and waterscapes of eastern North America, and it literally has helped build the farms and cities found here. For those in attendance today, fortunate enough to have white pines on your properties or in your visual diaries, cherish them, for you're caring for emblems of our connections with all things in a nurturing earth, and a remarkable teacher as the chief of our forested lands. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed my role here today, and enjoy.
Mary, tell me a little bit about what took place today.
Today we had an unveiling of the land acknowledgement plaque that we had commissioned Rick Beaver from the Alderville First Nation to create for us. Chief Mode came from the Alderville First Nation, along with John Henderson and some councillors of Coburg councillors as well.
Special day.
A special day for us. And also it's our opening for the 2021 season. And it's been a long time coming, and so we're excited to be open. We're also excited to show you the exhibit which the exhibit team have been working on for many months. They usually work during the winter and do research, etc. And this year our theme is the heinous, the heroic, and the high flyers. And it relates to people who lived or worked in Coburg, not just Coburg, Northumberland County. And there are a variety of individuals, and some of you might know the most heinous of the whole lot of them. He's Dr. John King, and he was he poisoned his wife, and he was actually hanged here in Coburg. And the day he was hanged, 10,000 people showed up in Coburg for the hanging.
So it's
it was
something.
such a spectacle. So that's one of the individuals, and then we have a hero in Sir John Murray. John Murray grew up in Coburg, but moved to Scotland, studied at the University of Edinburgh, and became what's known as the father of oceanography. And what he did a 4-year voyage all around the world in the HMS Challenger. I believe it was 1872 to 1876. And he charted the actual oceans. So he's the father of oceanography. They are two of our examples.
A lot of people, I'm born and raised here, and a lot of people may not know these things, so it's a great place to come.
Well, it's very interesting for people doing the research as well. Coburg has an extremely rich history in individuals and contacts, and things like the ferries running back and forth across the lake between Rochester, and trade across the lake between Oswego and Coburg. It's got a very rich history, so we try to pick a theme and then expand on it as much as we can each year, and we change our exhibits each year.
Last question. How run by volunteers?
Oh, run totally by volunteers, totally volunteer-run organization. We get funding for one student during the summer, and we use the student to help guide and work on some admin stuff for us.
Forgive me, last question. They tell me the hours of operation.
This year, shortened hours of operation, Friday and Saturday from 10 till 5, and Sunday from 1 to 5. And just one other thing, we have a special exhibit this year on the east, in what we're calling the east end of the building. It was created by George Parker. Detailed information about the Coburg-Peterborough Railway, the bridge across Rice Lake, other pieces of equipment that were used there. And George will be doing demonstrations every day at 2 p.m.